Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. This guy right here is Evil Mike, and I got a review for you today. From Opus Comics, we're going to be talking about Frank Frazzetti's Dawn Attack, issue number 1. It is written by Jody and Eric Campbell, art by Diego Yapur, colors by Carlos Cabrera, and letters by Jacob Bascle. Pages 10 and 12 is like a flashback scenario, and they have different art and color. The art's done by Dan McDaid. And then the colors is Felipe Sobreiro. I'm sorry if I mispronounced any of those names. It's no form and disrespect. Before we get started, if I can get y'all to please like and comment on this guy's channel. Those comments feed this guy right here. The likes, the subscription definitely. And I do appreciate everybody that subs, that watches my stuff, comments, likes. It lets me know I'm doing the right thing, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be just doing and talking to myself. I do that in real life. So for those of y'all that don't know, Opus Comics has been, I guess, granted the ability to put background stories to Frank Frazzetti's art. I messed up, and this is not a Frank Frazzetti cover. I've been trying to collect all the Frank Frazzetti covers. But I didn't really have too many choices on this one. I think this might have been my only choice, or it was like a ratio. That is the original artwork, and basically they allowed somebody to come in and give this picture a story. And that's what this book is. This is actually the second one in the series that I know of. The first one is Frank Frazzetti's Death Dealer, which I think is already on issue 8 or 9 or something like that. I am picking those up and reading them and loving Death Dealer. It's been so great, and that's why I hopped on this one. I am a fan of sci-fi. I am a fan of strong, powerful women. I don't know, it's always spoken to me, so I was like, why not? Let's give it a shot. What was the story that they came up with? Let's find out together, Basically, it starts off, and it doesn't say what planet, if this is Earth. It's definitely not Earth, or it could be like way in the future Earth or something like that. Basically, we got this like lizard monster, and he's like checking out stuff. We see somebody watching him because you see the pistol and like the comment like, don't move. But before that person can, get its meal or whatever it's after for the lizard, something else kind of, goes after the lizard, starts killing it, and we do find out that it's like, because it kind of looked like an ape at first, but it's not. It's like this demonish, it's supposed to be like a demonic ape or something like that. And we get to meet Dawn. Dawn, of course, is the main character of the book. And we quickly learn about Dawn and her backstory and stuff like that, but we quickly find out how kind of a badass she is, because she does pull out the gun. The gun does misfire. We find out later on why, but the book does show us that she's just as badass, or even more badass, with a sword. She quickly stabs the guy, chops his head off, and that's the end of that scenario. And she was kind of mad that that the demonic ape had got the lizard before she was able to, because she goes back to it and she still cleans and gets what she wanted from the lizard. We go back to town, and she is greeted by this person asking if he has seen any sign of something in the sky. The Dawn basically saying that, well, they're gonna come, and I feel it in my heart and soul. This, they're gonna come any day now. We don't really get to find out what she's talking about until a little later, but it's pretty quick. She makes it into the town where she is from, but we quickly find out that she is like, she's a princess, but basically at the moment she's acting ruler, so I guess you would say queen. But you also find out some other stuff, like in the background panel and stuff, that their kingdom is not doing so well. There's like starvation and drought. People are talking about not having food. Not only that, but not even having the seed to plant the farm and stuff like that. That's why she was hunting. There's a comment about, that from a vendor that she takes the lizard remains to, but he kind of states that, if she wasn't hunting alone, she'd be able to bring back more kills, to feed the city or village, or, it looks like a city. she moves on from this point and goes at what looks like to be her house. That never really states it, but we get to meet one of the other main characters, and that's I think his name is Ferris, but it's Farris, and that kind of plays a part of something. I might be getting his name wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's his name. Um, but we find out through conversation that this is Dawn's like romantic interest, like boyfriend, lover, husband, um, and she, kind of recalls what happened. With the gun, he notices she has blood on her shoes. He notices that he realizes that she had to use her sword. We quickly meet another character because he basically tells her, hey, go get the gun repaired. You're badass with the sword, but you're even better with the pistol. There's some other conversation about, what she was looking for up in the sky, and she's looking for the king. The king has left some time ago. And it's been 2 years and he has not returned. She states that once he returns, he'd be able to like access any technology that they need, or he'd be able to cure this like famine and drought that they're going through and stuff like that. He's basically got all the answers. They just need him there. That's where we get the flashback in the comic, and it's basically Dawn as a little kid, and she's recalling a moment when her father was coming back from some untold war. But this is her father right here in this badass armor. His name is actually King Ferris, but it's spelled Faris. That's why I kind of made the indentation about Ferris and Ferris. But we do get to see that he's a loving father. It's been a while since he had last seen her at this point. He notes that she had grown, and I guess the book is just kind of putting that in there to, I guess rest assured that Dawn isn't just crazy, that she really does believe that her father's coming back, kind of thing. The book moves on, and basically at this point, her boyfriend's like, go get the pistol fixed, we don't need it misfiring again. And we find out that the person that does all the tech in the city is Ferris's, her boyfriend Ferris. It's his sister, and it's JC. JC, as you can see, she kind of looks techish the second they walk up on her, and she already knows that it's the pistol, that the reason why she's come. After like quickly looking at the pistol and taking it apart and finding out what was wrong with it, is basically because Dawn uses it more as a blunt weapon versus a firing projectile weapon that it's supposed to be used at, and that's why it malfunctioned, because she's beating, I don't know, lizards or demonic apes. There's a conversation that comes from JC as she's fixing the pistol about finding some ship logs that brings question from Dawn and Ferris about working with ship logs. They're not supposed to have any ships or anything like that. And they quickly find out that JC's been doing this side project, and she's been scavenging in space and stuff like that. But she found something that has ship logs, and we get here, and basically like, and they show it, it's in the outskirts away from the city, but she has found an older ship. It's the same model that Dawn's father flew away in. Inside the ship, basically JC has gone through and everything works. She's been working with having problems with the computer, but like I think like during that last week or something, she's got it working. But in the process, she also, like in the computer logs, she realized that it might have the location to where her father was last seen. She does pull up the logs, and she does show Dawn, and this kind of sparks off the rest of the book. At this point, like, Dawn is going to take the ship, and she's going to go find her father. She has the coordinates to where they last were, him and his army. There's kind of this talk in the background at this point that about this automaton army, and basically her father was the only one that could control this automaton army. It's supposed to be like mechanical and droid made up army, and that's supposed to be a part of their saving grace that they need. There is conversation that comes from Ferris, with Dawn, and he's basically stating one of the more realistic, things that came up. Hey, your father left, and he's been gone for 2 years and hasn't come back. How can you guarantee that that's not going to happen to you, and then our town's really going to suffer because you're basically what's holding it together? And of course, she basically promises that that's not going to happen to her, that she's going to go find her father and come back. At this point, the book made it seem like that all three of them were going to go on this journey. But once it comes to present day, and she's kind of mystified that all these people came to, see her off once they found out that the queen was leaving. And her boyfriend is kind of like, I mean, you're the queen. You've been feeding us, taking care of us, and of course they're going to come see you off. They don't want you to leave. Oh, and by the way, at this point, like if you're having any second thoughts, you can always stay, and Dawn is like, no, I have to get this done. She gets in the ship, and the next thing we see, she takes off. She gets amazed by, seeing this. It could be a moon, the sun, something like that. Maybe just the outside of her planet. She reminds herself what is needed to be done, and she takes off, puts in the coordinates, and she's gone. And that's basically where the book leaves us off. There is a cover gallery. It shows all the different covers that you were able to pick up if your LCS was able to grab them, and that's basically it. There is no hint at what's to come. There's no preview of the next cover, none of like that. They're just gonna leave us in the, let us speculate while we wait. Honestly, my final thoughts is I loved it. I didn't know how I was gonna feel about this book. I never know how I'm gonna feel about reading a number one, especially on this one, because I didn't have any kind of synopsis or anything knowledge besides the picture that I'd seen of Dawn Attack. But I mean, the read was fantastic. The story is, in some parts it's kind of simple, but that's also some of the fun. The only thing I'd want is a lot more of the lore, and right now we kind of have the lore from the picture. They do show the automaton army, Dawn, that she's in space, that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping we get a lot more of this broken out. But just like Death Dealer, I mean, the first issue of Death Dealer was one of those but as the book expanded, the lore it came, and man, it was worth the wait. That's my review. Let me know if you picked this up. I have seen that several people in the community have picked up this book. Did you read it? What'd you think? Are you hooked in for book 2? Are you done with it? You're like, nope, that's trash. Let me know. Yeah, please comment, like, all that good stuff. Subscribe, share to all your friends. I know Grandma will love Evil's comics. No, I don't know. Hey guys, that's all I got for you. I'll see y'all later. I hope everybody has a happy New Year. It's right around the corner. I'm gonna be dropping videos, so it's definitely not my last video of the New Year. But I really hope that y'all have a safe, happy, joyous. Make sure you got all your friends. Hopefully you stay inside, celebrate it like grown-ass adults, and not out there in the streets being dumb. And I don't know. I'll see y'all later, guys. Bye.